Good evening. We will be conducting tonight's meeting in a virtual setting using Zoom to allow commissioners, staff, and public to social distance. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting tonight on Wave Channel 18 and online through the city's YouTube channel. If you would like to participate in live public comment via the Zoom platform, please refer to the agenda for instructions, and Chair McKinney will begin the meeting momentarily.
Thank you, Gwen. I'm waiting for my clock to hit 6 o'clock. All right, we're there. So I'd like to call our meeting to order. I call the February 16th, 2022 City of Lincoln Regular Planning Commission meeting to order. And before we jump into our agenda, I'd like to remind the commissioners that because we are in a virtual setting, that the meeting chair will be calling on each commissioner individually as we go through the agenda. So item 2 is roll call. Gwen, could you please call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Cross.
Present.
Commissioner Gilbert. I saw Peter on.
He is here.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Hutchinson.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
I'm here, and just so you know, I think Commissioner Manning had reached out. He can't find the link for tonight's meeting, so I don't know if there's a way to
I'll send it to
get him
him.
a link to that. Okay, thank you,
I'll
Gwen.
send it. Yes.
I'm going to send it to my person.
Vice Chair Lyons
Present.
and Chair McKinney.
Here. So we'll move to the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked our City Attorney, Christine Mollenkoff, to lead us.
Thank you. Sorry, I've changed my camera angle so you can see the flag. So if you can all mute yourselves, and you can decide to do what you want to do with your camera, but otherwise I will be standing. Join me in saluting our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. So we are to agenda item 4, which is agenda modifications. Do we have any requests for modifications to tonight's agenda? I'm not hearing any, so I'm not going to do roll call on that, but if there are, please speak up. Okay, none. We will go to agenda item 5, which is rotation of the chairperson and election of vice chairperson. So I get the distinct pleasure of handing over a virtual gavel. I don't have one in my hand.
Thank you.
Yes, to Vice Chair Bill Lyons. Did you accept that?
I reached out when you reached out, so I think we handed it.
Great.
I saw it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And at this time, I'd like to ask my fellow commissioners if there's anybody who would like to volunteer as vice chair.
I'd like to make a nomination.
Okay, please proceed.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Manning for vice chair.
Okay, we have, yes, Mr. Cross.
I'd like to make a nomination as well. I'd like to nominate Peter Gilbert.
Okay, so we have 2 nominations on the floor here. I'd like to ask Commissioner Gilbert if he would like to volunteer, and I'd also like to ask the same thing of Commissioner Manning if he is on our call.
I'll accept that nomination.
Thank you. And did Commissioner Manning make it on?
I sent him a link. He sent me an email. So I just asked him if he was having problems. I'm not sure if I'm going to a spam or what's going on.
So Christine, since we have 2 nominations, do we have any other nominations I should ask? Any other commissioners want to make any other nominations?
I would like to second the nomination for Peter Gilbert.
Okay, I have a nomination and I have a second.
So where we stand is we have two competing nominations, so they should be framed in the voice of two competing motions. So one would be a motion to appoint Peter Gilbert. That appears to have a second. The other would be a motion to appoint Commissioner Manning. And then that there would need to be a second, otherwise the motion would fail for a second, and then there would be a vote.
Point of a question for you. So you would need another motion, even though Commissioner Gilbert has been nominated and second. So, and if that's the case, then I move that Peter Gilbert be appointed as vice chair of the Planning Commission for this next year.
All right, and then is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chair Lyon. Are there any competing motions for an appointment to that position?
So Commissioner Manning is having some problems logging in. He said he is fine with being vice chair.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get him
So-
logged in.
Okay, but so it still requires,
Yes, I understand.
right, so is there a motion to appoint Commissioner Manning as vice chair?
Am I able to make that motion or no, since I nominated him?
No, absolutely. That's
Oh,
what we're
okay.
waiting for.
I'll make a motion to nominate Commissioner Manning for vice chair.
Okay, and then is there a second to that motion?
Well, I think this is Peter Gilbert. In as much as we're Commissioner Manning is having communication issues, and he's indicated that he would want to be vice chair. Is it possible for us to accept that as the second?
I'll second him.
Okay. Dan will second the motion to appoint Commissioner Manning as vice chair. Thank you. So then we take the motions in reverse order. So we will call a roll on the motion to appoint Commissioner Manning as vice chair. If that succeeds, then he will be the chair. The second motion to appoint Peter Gilbert would be moot. If the motion does not carry, then we would move to the motion to appoint Commissioner Gilbert. So on Gwen, I would ask you to call roll on the motion. Dan, do you have a question?
I don't understand. You said the motion is to appoint him vice chair, not chairman, right?
Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah, vice chair. You
Yeah.
may have said chair, but I don't know.
You said if we elected him, then he would become chairman. If we elect him, he becomes vice chairman.
No, I thought I said vice chair.
You said chairman.
Okay, well, then the note is that.
This is all
Vice
for
chair.
vice chair.
Yes. So this first vote will be for selecting vice chair.
So the first motion to be heard by this body is a motion to appoint Commissioner Manning as vice chair. If it passes with a majority vote, then he will become vice chair. The second motion to appoint Peter Gilbert will then be moot. If it does not pass, then the motion to appoint Peter Gilbert as vice chair will be heard by this body. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you, Christine, for walking us through this. So at this time, we'll have a roll call vote and this is a vote for Commissioner Manning to serve as vice chair.
Thank you. So Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cross,
Yes.
Commissioner Gilbert,
No.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
No.
Commissioner Manning. I'm going to check. I do have a person on the phone. Is
Can
he
you hear
able
me?
to get on? Yes. Okay. Thank you. So Commissioner Manning, this is a motion for you to be vice chair.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Commissioner McKinney
Yes,
and Chair Lyons.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4 yays and 3 noes.
Okay, so that passes. So congratulations to Commissioner Lyons as the new commissioner of the Planning Commission and to Commissioner Manning as vice chair. So I think I am done with my role now as chair for this meeting, and I will turn it over to Commissioner Lyons to run.
Don't we have to elect the chairman now?
No, that was automatic. That's actually in the commission rules. The vice chair rotates to chairman automatically.
But we haven't elected a chairman.
The vice chair rotates
it's
to chair
automatic.
automatically.
It's an automatic appointment.
Oh, okay. All right.
I would like to get something clarified for future rotations, that it's just a point of order, but it can get confusing because based on my understanding of the rules, the moment I was handed the virtual gavel, I should have been chair, and I should have handled the vote of the vice chair. Is that incorrect? That really goes to our city attorney.
I'd have to look into it. I think that's a technicality that at this point is moot. We've handled the business.
Well, it is moot at
I
this
can-
point,
I can-
but I
I
think
can
it
look
should
into
be
it.
noted for future agendas.
I can look into it. There was obviously a staff hiccup at the last meeting where we should have handled it and we did not. But
Yeah, it's not a problem. I'm not offended. I'm not trying to point out anything like that. I just want to make sure that it's clear for future agendas. So item 6, citizens addressing the commission. Citizens may address the planning commission on any item that is not on the agenda. There should be a note in that sentence. Okay. My apologies. They completely rewrote the script, and the way I was going to say it is different than we had for the last about 12 years. Sorry about that. Citizens may address the planning commission on any item on the agenda when the item is considered. Citizens wishing to speak may request to speak by raising your hand when requested to do so. This is an opportunity to speak on non-agenda items. Do we have any hands raised for someone who would like to speak on non-agenda items?
Chair, I don't have any hands raised.
All right, thank you very much. Item 7 is disclosure of ex parte communication. I will do a call on each person to say if they have anything to disclose. Let's start with Commissioner Hutchinson.
None.
Commissioner Cross,
None, thank you.
Commissioner McKinney,
I have none, thank you.
Commissioner Gilbert,
None.
Commissioner Johnson,
None.
Commissioner Vice Chair Manning.
I have none. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the consent agenda. So there is already one item that has been requested to pull from the consent agenda, but I'll go ahead and read the script. All matters on the consent agenda are considered routine business and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the request to remove a specific item for separate action is received. Any items removed will be considered after the remainder of the consent agenda. We've already had a request from one citizen to remove item 8B from the consent agenda. Do any of my colleagues wish to remove either item 8A or 8C from the consent agenda? I see and hear none. So we will vote on item 8B and 8C as one motion. Is there a motion?
8A and 8C.
Excuse me, 8A and 8C. Thank you for catching my slip of the tongue. Item 8A and 8C, is there a motion to?
I'll move to the consent calendar for items 8A and 8C.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for item 8A and 8C of the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Yes, Commissioner McKinney,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cross,
Yes.
Commissioner Gilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Manning,
Yes.
and Chair Lyons.
Yes. That brings us to item 8B, which is a specific development plan design review proposed by Curve Development for Cyrene at Meadowlands, including 3 single-family residential floor plans, ranging in size from 1,227 square feet to 1,381 square feet. Do we have a staff report?
Yeah, this is Mel Pavlina's planning manager. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. All the documents for this project, the design review permit proposed by Curve Development are all online, and hopefully you've had a chance to review them. It's a simple design review of the proposed residential development in the Meadowlands proposed by Curve Development. This is an 81 lot subdivision. This project was the map was approved early last year, sometime last year, 2021, and so this is a follow up to that development with regard to the design review of the proposed homes on this subdivision. There are 3 proposed floor plans as discussed in the staff report. There are the modern design that was approved as part of the GDP for Meadowlands subdivision. The applicants are here online as well. Justin Pasternak is available to answer any questions. If you have any questions for staff, do let me know. Otherwise, we can proceed with the next steps in this hearing on this item.
Just as clarification of what the agenda item actually is and what's before us, I would like to confirm a couple things or get corrected on a couple things so that everybody knows what we're discussing. This is a design review of a proposed development that was already approved in March of 2021. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So so the issue before us is the design of the homes, not the map, not the setbacks, not the locations of toters or any of those issues. Those were already voted on last year. Is that correct?
You're right. This is the design of the homes, and the homes do conform to the approved general development plan for the tentative map for this development. So yeah, it's strictly just the designs, the looks, the feel, the materials, the color theme, in accordance with the GDP for the approved Meadowlands large lot 6.
Thank you. I appreciate that clarification. So I'll go through the commissioners for if they have any questions for staff. Again, I'll start with Commissioner Hutchinson.
No, I have no questions for staff. I serve on the design review board, and I spent a lot of time reviewing the project.
Thank you. Appreciate that information. Commissioner Cross.
No, I'm just thrilled that we have the ability to build single family homes in this area at the density that we're looking at, because having worked at Gladding McBean for 22 years and wondering what was going to happen to that property, I had all kinds of visions of what could happen that was less than desirable, and I'm very impressed by these designs and have very positive feelings about the way they'll fit into our community.
Thank you. Commissioner McKinney.
I have no comments, but echo many of the thoughts that Commissioner Cross just shared.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilbert.
None.
Commissioner Johnson.
None.
Commissioner Manning.
No questions, Chair Lyons. Thank you.
Okay, having gone through that, I think it's appropriate at this point, and staff, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's appropriate this time to open it up for comments from the public, since it was
Correct.
requested to pull.
Yes, please.
Yes, we do have a hand raised, Chair. John Fett, please go ahead. John, we're having a hard time hearing you. John,
Get closer to the microphone.
Yeah, hang on, I'm trying.
or it's better
That's
now.
much better.
Okay, all right, there we go. All right, so is it possible to put an exhibit up?
Staff, is that?
Yes, I
appropriate?
could put up an exhibit out of just, I'll share the screen.
No, I
From
mean
my end over here?
exhibit. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Are you meaning
Well, let
for
me
the
just go
staff to
forward,
share
or
the information
time.
you showed us?
yeah, they are the exhibits I sent to each of you in the email, so they're there if you want to look at them. So I'm a citizen of Lincoln. I have a degree in architecture and planning. I want to say first, I support this project. I think it's a project we need in Lincoln. I went out and visited Serene's development, or Curve's development, Serene at Fitment. They build a really nice project. They run a good ship out there, and I think we're going to be happy with what they have. The deficiency in the design I want to speak to today is this toter issue. You know, most medium and high density developments have common garbage collection points. And here we're going to have 81 toters. We're going to have 162 toters on recycle day. Those toters are to be dragged out to the corner of C Street and Gladding Parkway, which I think is not very wise. But the real point I want to, and I understand all that's water under the bridge. So this is why I'm focusing on this detail. There is nothing in these floor plans that allows for a toter to be brought back into the home that the person occupies. The properties are essentially what you call zero lot lines. The side yards where you can put a toter are a minimum of 3 feet 6 inches wide. Some are wider. But I think what we're going to get is we're going to get sort of a toter no man's land. No one wants these toters in their garage. It stinks up their cars. I think this is an easy solution. There's an easy design solution to make this more palatable. And I think the developer, you know, my understanding is Serene or Curve wants to hold these as rental units for a long time, get the cash flow. I think, you know, there's no management, no community center on the property. So there's no one there, you know, once this development is sold out. I think we need to have a designated toter area built into these site plans. And there's a number of different ways that could be done. And I'm happy to work with the developer and with planning to try and get something that would prevent us from having some of these developments where you see toters laying out all over the alleys in other developments. And so that's my main point, is that I would like to be able to feel like this is going to be addressed and it's going to be not going to become a problem in the future. And I think the developer would want that too. They obviously build a quality project, and I think it's just been overlooked. And I think it's a very important component. Thank you. Rommel, do you have any comments on that? Am I reading this wrong? Are there toter places in the plan?
It's not really appropriate for the to have a conversation with the staff. You've made your presentation.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Chair, no other hands are raised from public, but we do have, looks like the applicant has his hand raised.
Okay, that was going to be where I was going. Thank you very much. Applicant, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey everyone, this is Justin Pasternak with Curve Development. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Perfect. Yes, thank you for the comment. And on the site plan, we actually do have a designated zone for each lot on the alley side for a fenced in kind of like trash enclosure area. So I don't know if that's been communicated to everyone, but we have been thinking about it. And like I said, I forget the exact dimensions, but it is a screened area off the driveway that's adjacent to the side yard. And they're tight areas back there, but we do have the space designated for it. So it has been kind of at least thought through and addressed. But there are kind of little screen walls on the alley side, because you are correct. It is a tight little site. And those locations, like I said, each lot has a specific location tied to it. So hopefully that's shed some light on that.
Thank you. I do remember that being quite a discussion last year, and I do remember there being toter locations off of each. I think it was right off the side of the driveway, if I recall. I've just been looking at trying to see if there was that level of detail in this report, and I don't see it on here.
Correct. It's off the driveways because we have 5-foot wide aprons connecting for the majority of each of the lots. So essentially it's a 5-foot by, I want to say 4-foot area that has a fence around it.
Thank you very much. Have any more hands gone up at this point?
No, Chair, no other hands.
Thank you very much. That being the case, I'll bring it back to the commission for discussion or action. I will start in reverse order this time and start with Tony Manning. Do you have any further questions or discussion?
Thank you, Chair Lyons. I have a question for Justin. He mentioned the enclosure area being an area to put them fenced in. Is the developer, are you going to build the fences, or is it an area there for the homeowner to be able to build a fence if they want?
Thank you. Yeah, so we will build the fence as part of, basically when the unit's being finished, we'll build the fence as part of the design.
Great, I appreciate that. And I do want to, I'll end on a comment that I just really do appreciate John Fett's comments. I like when people bring ideas and comments to the commission that are articulate like that. And I do think we've had several projects come to this committee where toters have come up, and I do think we've overlooked some things where we've asked questions, got answers that weren't really very satisfying answers, and we continue to move forward in some of these high density areas. I think we do need to push back and be a little bit more articulate on how we handle the toter situation. And I'm glad that in this situation we have that screened area. That's a good answer to that. And I just want to thank John Fett as a citizen for coming to the table with an articulate idea. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Chair Lyons. I don't have any questions at this time. I just want to echo what Vice Chair Manning just mentioned, thanking John Fett and, those in the community that do participate. It's good to have participation, and sometimes everyone has different perspectives and are able to think of things in different ways, look at them in different angles. So just appreciate the community's involvement. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilbert.
No, I don't have any comments.
Commissioner McKinney.
I don't have any either. Thank you.
Commissioner Cross.
No comments.
Commissioner Hutchinson.
No further comments to add to what's already been stated.
Thank you. So that brings us to the point of a motion. Is there a motion on this matter?
I'd move approval of 8B, specific development plan, design review for curve development for Cyrene at Meadowlands.
I'll
Second the motion.
Who was first?
I'll let Commissioner Gilbert have it.
Commissioner Gilbert was definitely louder.
Thank you. Commissioner Cross,
Yes.
Commissioner Gilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Hutchinson,
Yes,
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Manning,
Yes.
Commissioner McKinney,
Yes.
and Chair Lyons.
Yes. All right, let's see, go back to my agenda. That brings us to item 9, public hearings. We have none. Item 10, general business. We have none. Item 11, commissioner comments. Do any of my colleagues have any comments? Then I'll again call roll, and I'll start at the end again. Tony Manning.
No comments.
Commissioner Johnson.
No comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Gilbert,
No.
Commissioner McKinney.
No, just to say thank you for the opportunity. I've served as the chair this last year, and thank you, Bill, for your service that's upcoming, as well as you, Commissioner Manning.
Thank you. Commissioner Cross?
We have a new planning manager, right? That we just talked to a while ago.
Yes.
Oh,
Go ahead, Mel.
hi. Yes, I don't think I met you before, Commissioner Cross. Yeah, my name is Mel Pabolinas. I go by Mel, but you see on the screen it's Romel, but short for Mel is better, easier to pronounce.
Okay, well, I just wanted to welcome you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Hutchinson.
I just want to say also to thank Kelly for Commissioner McKinney for all of her service this last year. I'd like to also say I'm looking forward to Chair Lyons for serving as chair this next year, and welcome to Vice Chair Manning the following year. That's it.
Thank you very much. And sorry to see you go, Commissioner McKinney. I know you had a rough year between health and family and so forth. It seems like you had the fewest number of meetings chaired that I've seen in a long time. So I'm sorry about that. But
Oh, it's okay. There's it's all good.
but I'm glad you're back on your way to restoration.
Thank you.
All right, so that brings us to item 12, informational items from staff. Does the staff have any informational items for us?
Nothing from planning.
Seeing and hearing none others, I think that brings us to item 13. We are now adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.